Great, good, everything's fine. You wake up the next morning and you're on fire.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Macgasm podcast. I'm Joshua Schnell.
And I'm Brendan Schnell.
And today we're going to talk to you about 3 products. We got the newer technology, Guardian MAXimus, I'm going to read it. Newer technology, Guardian MAXimus Mini.
He did his research on this episode.
It's true. So it's an external hard drive enclosure that does RAID. We'll get into that a little bit. We've got, what do you got?
A Frio Cold Shoe mount by the same people that bring you the Orbis ring flash for photography.
Yeah, and we've got the BookBook for iPhone 4, which kind of looks like a
Mini Bible.
New Testament edition.
When we started discussing our backup solutions, this came along. And this is, it's kind of mind-blowing actually.
So
well, because like your desk and my desk has all these external hard drives all over it.
Yeah,
and they take up so much space on your desk and heat and power, and it's just a pain in the butt.
I moved all my external hard drives to the basement on a Mac Mini and do my backups to it across the network. Because of that, it's just like cluttering my desk. But anyway, so full circle, I was talking actually to the OWC guys about solutions and something that would be compatible with the Drobo, and they asked me what I wanted to do, and I was like, well, you know, I'm thinking I'd like to back up the podcast and the video files we have and something that I can move back and forth, and the Drobo won't do that. The Drobo is, you know, and heavy, right?
Oh,
it's
they're
five normal size hard drives.
And they're not cheap.
They're not cheap.
When he's trying, like, even throwing some hard drives in that. Like, it gets pricey.
Really, it's a good device, but they suggested this Guardian MAXimus Mini. And what it is obviously it's an external enclosure, and it has 2 FireWire 800 ports, a mini USB 2.0 port, and an eSATA port. And the really, really cool thing about this is there's 2 hard drives in here.
2 2.5-inch, 5,400 RPM, 1 terabyte hard drives.
Hard drives, right. And so the hardware right in this hardware has software built right in.
Yep.
So you can go through the menu settings, which is a bit of a con. I'll get to that in a second. You can go through the menu settings and RAID the drive. So RAID 0 or RAID 1. RAID 0 being stripped, which means you're getting the advantage of writing your data in strips to 2 separate drives. So maybe like 10 kilobytes goes one, 10 kilobytes goes to the second.
Yep.
And it's smart enough to rebuild that when you need those files. Or RAID 1, which is a mirror, which means whatever happens on one happens on the other. You don't get the speed advantages that way, but you get the redundancy.
Yep.
So if one of the drives in here dies, your data is still good.
Yep.
Whereas in a stripped setting, if one of the drive dies, you're screwed.
Well, right? Screwed.
Yeah, it's more difficult to get your stuff back.
Yep.
So you can set up the drives and the RAID and all that jazz on the device itself. But you can also plug it in and do it through disk utility, and it'll put it all together for you. Really cool thing we just noticed about this is
they power via FireWire, so you don't even have to plug in a power supply. So even like if you look at the size of it, how small it is, I'm putting it here to give you guys a close up. The size of it is,
here's my phone.
It's tiny. Like it's really, really, really small. And for somebody who's traveling, and if you're on location shoots or on location video, and you need to back up your data and you want to dump your data, you don't even have to take a power cord with you anymore. You just need to have your regular FireWire 800 cord, and it powers and runs like that. So it makes it really, really simple, and it's very portable. I was blown away when we first took it out of the box and started playing with it, that how actually small it is.
Yeah, it blew my mind too. I thought I was going to get a big box.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when you look at it online, there's no point of reference of how big these things are. I mean, they give you the stats, but you don't go looking.
Just one question, guys. Yeah. Can you, in fact, exchange hard drives out of there?
Yeah, it pops open. This is managed through the menu system on here.
Yeah.
The menu system is a little bit bizarre.
With 2 buttons. And
with 2 buttons, so you got to keep hitting the menu to go through menu items, and then keep hitting the enter to go through the enter. I almost erased it twice trying to back out.
I wouldn't blame that on the hardware. I'd just blame it on Josh being an idiot.
Well, you can see here they have a guide on how to get through.
Holy hell!
This stuff. Yeah, it's not. Maybe show that to Luca. It's not super straightforward. It's not like option 1. It's like drive information, RAID information, and then you get in it, and then you go through.
But that's
6 or
what's
7
going to
years.
happen when you want size and you
So there's
want...
benefits to it, right? Because if you're going from computer to computer, no problem. So that is a benefit of this. You can take this from this computer to that computer to your neighbor's computer, still get at that info without having to install stupid software. So if you're looking for something you can manage on your computer, the Jobo wins a little bit. But if you want something that's really portable, that's offers you RAID options,
That's smaller, that's cost effective, that has no power to it.
I would probably recommend this first. The other really cool thing, for those who don't know, is FireWire is daisy chainable. So if you do get 2 of these, you can attach this one to the second one and just the second one to your computer, and it'll see both.
So this is like the perfect solution for backup.
I have a tendency of using these little plastic shoes that come with your flash, and I screw them onto light stands. There's a little screw at the bottom, anyways. They're not the best solution.
So why do you not like that? Because I'm not a photographer, I don't know.
Yeah. So
Why
what
do you
happens
not
is
like
this slides in, right?
Yeah.
And it does it normally,
And you
but
lock it.
that's
Okay.
the problem, right? You lock it.
Right.
So when you're in a rush and you're doing things, you just kind of snap it in. And sometimes you push the lock all the way, but sometimes it only goes halfway.
Right.
And then it can slip out, and then your flash falls out, and you'd be in a lot of trouble.
sense.
These things
Right.
aren't cheap,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So the company that makes the Orbis ring flash actually makes this Frio Cold Shoe. And it's a cold shoe adapter.
Okay, cold shoe meaning, because
That hot shoe adapters have a little PC, like a little sync cable.
Okay.
So what happens is you can plug your flash onto that and then trigger your flash with wireless triggers or plug it into a camera to trigger.
Okay, cold
right?
shoe meaning just
It's just plastic.
Okay.
So what they came up with was basically a self-locking mechanism. So you can lock it too to push down this little metal piece to lock it.
Yeah.
Or even if you forget to do that, it kind of holds itself in place. So if I just quick snap that in there,
It snaps into place. Yeah.
it's not going anywhere.
Cool.
So
Take it out and put it back in.
yeah, Luca won't be able to get close enough to show that. So it's I was recommended to use it, and immediately I thought, I hate to admit this, that's a waste of money.
Right.
I hate to admit that.
For your photo shoots, how many flashes do you have remotely?
So I
Because like, would you get one of these for every single tripod or flash that you need? That'd be ideal, right?
oh yeah, I would recommend it for anybody who's triggering their strobes wirelessly that are putting them on light stands. I would get these instead of having to worry about these things. And then, so if you look at the size of the ones that come default, what happens is when you start using your strobes in soft boxes or in other products, when you put this on your stand and you try and shift it forward, it can only go so far. And then the metal bracket to the soft box gets in the way. Whereas with this, you get right up to it, right? It just snaps in there, and the back of it isn't even locked. I don't know if Luca can get in there on the back of the stand, or the back of the light. It's not even actually locked. Like my lock switch is on the unlock, and I'm pulling it. It's not going anywhere. So, long story short, I would highly recommend you get these for your strobes if you're a little strobist shooter and you like shooting off camera.
Well, I mean, for like 4 or 5 of them, you're looking at like 100, 120 bucks probably.
In the camera world, though, that's cheap.
That is dirt cheap, yeah.
Right?
That's cool.
They sell accessories, a little piece of plastic for $100, and you're going, oh, I need that. So my first impression before I got it was I wouldn't get it, but try it. I recommend somebody who has one, or even going
especially
down to
if you're shooting solo and you don't have someone checking your lights. Like,
and you're always in a rush, right?
Yeah.
You're always thinking about all
cool.
your gear and thinking about how you're setting up your lights and doing all this stuff, and there's always something you forget. And 9 times out of 10, it's locking your camera, and then a gust of wind comes,
and it's crashing.
and then there goes your flash.
Cool. So the last thing we want to talk about is actually a brand spanking new product, and when I say that, it'll be 3 weeks in the future.
He's lying. It's
from recording.
actually 2,000
So it's about
years
a month
old,
old
and
at
it's
this
called
point.
the Bible.
It is. It's actually by a company I love, 12 South.
Okay, I just can't say enough about that company. They
They
always come out
awesome
with
stuff.
amazing
So they have all kinds of books.
And they're not sponsoring this
No,
episode.
they're not. I probably own their entire product line.
Jesus, everything they come out with is just...
So we've looked at the original BookBook before, which is for the iPad, which is like a normal book size. And it's a case for your iPad, and that's great. they clearly were onto something because they've now made one for the iPhone 4. And problem being, we don't have an iPhone 4 to show this off in its glory. But you can see, here's my iPhone 3G. I'm not going to put it in because I'll stretch it. But the idea is that it's a wallet-like case. There's pros and cons, I think.
He has money,
I'm not a bum.
but he is a hobo.
So it fits in there nice.
Doesn't fit in there nice.
Well, no, it's
that's
a bit-
awful.
Yeah,
That does not fit
so
in there nice.
That's what everyone's saying, is it's not a perfect depth for your money.
I'm disappointed, 12 South.
Why?
First off, I didn't have an iPhone 4, and looking at this, would you walk around and talk on your cell phone like this? What I can see this being good for, people who wear suit jackets.
Yeah, perfect. Right.
You're taking it out, you got all your business cards, you're paying for lunch or whatever,
Yeah.
you're checking your emails, you're scrolling,
Yeah.
you put it back, whatever.
iPod Touch.
Or
If you didn't
an
have an
iPhone.
Yeah.
That being said, I wouldn't be taking continuous phone calls with this case.
No. There's no camera hole, so that's a bit of a. You'd have to take your phone out to make a call.
And there's no Bible pages in it, so you're
There's no Bible, so if you want your Psalms, you're gonna have to get them online.
or on your iPhone. There's probably an app for that.
So that's it for this week's episode of the Macgasm Podcast. You can get us pretty much anywhere on the internet. You can get us on Twitter, twitter.com/Macgasm, Flickr, flickr.com/groups/Macgasm,
YouTube.com/Macgasm
youtube.com/Macgasm Podcast, and Facebook, facebook.com/Macgasm. So if you want to get in touch with us, those are probably the easiest, best ways to do it. You can get me personally on Twitter, twitter.com/Joshua Schnell.
And on twitter.com/eastscene.
So yeah, that's it for this episode. We'll catch you guys next week.
Bye. A lot of people now aren't making phone calls. Let's be real.
Yeah, sure.
So
Texting. And
yeah.
Whatever, all right.
Sorry, Luca. We have iPhones and smartphones. I like some people.
Whatever.
Luca can only do phone calls. He can't do anything else.
He's got to hit to send a C. He's got to hit the one key 3 times.